Alex's eyes slowly opened, but everything felt strange. The air was cool and smelled different. He tried to move but felt light, almost like floating. When he looked around, he saw soft lights glowing from the walls. The room was small and quiet, but it did not feel like any place he had ever been before. The bed he was lying on was not soft like his bed at home. It was smooth and hard, with strange lines and buttons on the side. He tried to remember how he got there, but his mind was foggy. The last thing he recalled was walking home from work. Then everything went dark. Now he was awake in this unknown place. Alex's heart began to beat faster. He wanted to get up, but his body felt weak and heavy at the same time. As he slowly turned his head, he saw a figure standing nearby. At first, he thought it was a woman, but there was something different about her. Her skin had a soft blue, color that shimmered slightly under the lights. Her eyes were large and bright, shining like stars in the night. She wore a long, flowing robe that looked alive, changing colors slowly, like waves in the ocean. Alex's breath caught in his throat. The figure stepped closer, and he saw that she was much taller than any person he knew. There was something powerful and calm about her. She looked at him with eyes full of kindness and curiosity. He wanted to speak, but no words came out. Instead, she reached out gently and touched his hand. The touch was warm and comforting. Alex felt a calmness spread through him, even though he was scared. He looked into her eyes and felt like she was trying to tell him something without speaking. The figure, who Alex soon realized was not human, slowly sat beside him. She held him gently in her arms, almost like a mother holding a child. It was strange, but he did not feel afraid anymore. It was as if she wanted to protect him. Alex's mind was full of questions. Who was she? Where was he? Was he dreaming? Was this real? His body wanted to move, to run away, but his mind told him to stay calm and try to understand. The room around them was quiet, except for a soft humming sound. It was steady and soothing. Alex looked around again and noticed the walls were smooth and curved with lights that changed colors slowly from blue to purple to green. The whole place felt alive, like it was breathing with them. He tried to remember everything that had happened before he woke up here. The last thing was walking down a busy street. Suddenly, a bright light had filled the sky, and then he must have fainted because he remembered nothing after that. Alex looked back at the alien figure. She seemed to sense his confusion. She moved her hand slowly in the air, and suddenly images appeared between them like small glowing pictures. Alex saw scenes of stars, planets, and spaceships. Then he saw himself walking down the street surrounded by people. The pictures showed a bright light from above, and then his body floating upward, as if lifted by an invisible force. Alex's eyes widened. He was taken from Earth by this starship. It was real. He tried to speak, but still no words came. The alien queen smiled gently and touched his forehead. Suddenly, he felt a rush of understanding. The images and feelings were clearer now. He learned that she was the queen of a peaceful alien race. They had found him when he was unconscious and brought him aboard their ship to help him. The queen showed him her world through pictures in his mind. Vast green forests, tall cities made of shining crystals, and creatures of many shapes living, together in harmony. It was beautiful, but so different from Earth. Alex felt small and unsure. He missed his home, but also felt a strange excitement. What was this place? Why was he here? Was he in danger? The queen's presence was calm and safe, but the unknown made him uneasy. She then showed him her people, tall and graceful like her. They lived on many planets, traveling through space for knowledge and peace. She was curious about humans because they had never met one before. Alex's mind tried to absorb everything. It was too much to understand at once. But the queen was patient, never rushing, always gentle. Time seemed to move differently. Minutes felt like hours, and hours like minutes. Alex's fear slowly turned into curiosity. He wanted to learn more about this strange place and the queen who held him. He reached out his hand, and the queen took it again. A connection formed between them, silent but strong. It was the start of something new, something beyond anything he had ever imagined. The humming of the starship continued, steady and calm. Outside, stars glittered in the vast darkness of space. Alex realized he was no longer just a man on Earth. He was part of a much bigger story now, one that would change his life forever. Alex lay quietly on the smooth bunk, still holding the alien queen's hand. Though his mind was full of questions, he no longer felt scared. Instead, a deep curiosity began to grow inside him. Who was this queen? What kind of place was he in? How did he come here? The queen noticed his change and seemed pleased. Without speaking, she gently moved her hand through the air. Suddenly, soft, glowing images appeared between them like tiny moving pictures. Alex watched closely as the queen shared the story of her people. These images showed beautiful planets with bright skies, strange creatures, and cities made of shining materials that glowed softly in the dark. As he watched, Alex felt like he was traveling through the stars himself. The queen's race was peaceful. They did not want to hurt anyone or take anything by force. Instead, they traveled across space to learn, explore, and understand other beings. She wanted to share this knowledge with Alex. Alex wanted to respond, but he could not speak their language. The queen seemed to understand and smiled softly. Then she placed her hand on her chest, and suddenly Alex felt a warm wave of emotion. Calm, trust, and kindness. He realized this was her way of showing she meant no harm. Slowly, the queen reached out her other hand, and Alex felt a gentle pressure on his palm. Suddenly, a rush of pictures and feelings filled his mind. Images of Earth, cities full of people, the oceans, mountains, and forests. He saw faces of strangers, his own memories, and places he loved. The queen was trying to understand Alex's world the same way he was trying to understand hers. They did not need words to communicate. Their thoughts and feelings moved back and forth like a silent conversation. Alex felt surprised, but grateful. It was a new way of sharing that he had never imagined. After a while, Alex tried to think of something simple. He pictured a smiling child, his own little sister. The queen smiled and sent back a feeling of joy and warmth. This made Alex feel more connected to her. The queen then showed Alex her starship. It was huge, much bigger than anything he had seen on Earth. Inside, there were many rooms, glowing halls, and strange machines. The ship traveled through space at incredible speeds, moving between stars and planets. Alex wondered how long he had been there. He asked the queen in his mind, but she only showed him a bright star outside the window. He guessed it was far from Earth. The thought made him miss home. But he also felt a strange excitement about being part of something so vast. The queen explained that they found Alex unconscious after a strange event on Earth. She said her people were curious about humans because they had heard stories about Earth but never met a human before. They wanted to learn about humans' feelings, thoughts, and dreams. Alex thought about how small Earth must seem to the queen compared to the endless space around them. Yet to him, Earth was everything: his family, friends, memories, and life. He asked the queen if he could see more of her world. With a gentle smile, she sent images of her home planet. It was beautiful, covered in green forests and blue oceans, with creatures that looked like birds and animals he had never seen before. The people lived in harmony with nature, respecting all life. Alex felt amazed. He never thought there could be such different worlds out there. The Queen's people seemed wise and kind, very different from the scary aliens he had only heard about in stories. The Queen's voice was soft and musical when she finally spoke, but her words were not like human language. Instead, they sounded like a gentle song, filled with emotion. Alex understood some of her meaning through the feelings her voice carried: peace, hope, and friendship. He wanted to answer her, but he still could not speak. The Queen seemed to sense this and sent him a small device that looked like a smooth stone. When Alex held it, he suddenly heard her words translated in his own language inside his mind. "Do not be afraid," the Queen said. "You are safe here. We want to learn about your world and share ours with you. Together, we can understand more." Alex felt relief flood through him. He nodded and used the device to say, "I want to learn. I want to understand." The Queen smiled brightly, and the room filled with a soft, warm light. She gently touched Alex's forehead again, and this time, he felt memories and emotions flowing between them. He saw images of Earth's history, people working, playing, loving, and dreaming. He shared feelings of joy, sadness, hope, and fear. The Queen's mind received these clearly, and she sent back her own experiences, her people's joys, challenges, and dreams for peace. For hours, they exchanged stories and feelings. Time seemed to stand still as Alex and the Queen connected beyond words. Though the alien Queen held him carefully, Alex felt respected and free. He began to trust her completely. At one point, the Queen showed him a small garden on the starship. It was filled with strange plants that glowed softly. Alex walked there slowly, feeling the soft ground under his feet. The plants moved gently as if alive, and he felt peace in the quiet place. The Queen explained that their ship was a home for many life forms, a place for learning and growth. They traveled the stars not to conquer, but to explore and share knowledge. Alex's mind filled with questions about the universe. Were there others like her? What did the stars hold? Was Earth alone in the vastness? The Queen seemed to sense his wonder and sent him images of other worlds she had visited. Some were cold and dark, others warm and full of life. The universe was bigger and more beautiful than Alex had ever dreamed. As the time passed, Alex's fear faded completely. Instead, he felt honored to be the first human to meet the alien Queen. He felt a new hope for the future, a future where different beings could meet, learn, and maybe even become friends. Though he missed Earth deeply, Alex knew this experience would change his life forever. He was no longer just a man from a small planet. He was part of something much bigger, a universe full of life, mystery, and possibility. The Queen looked at him with gentle eyes and said in the same soft voice, "You are not alone, Alex. We will learn together." Alex smiled back, feeling a new strength inside. He was ready to face whatever came next, with the alien Queen by his side. Alex lay quietly on the smooth bunk, still holding the alien Queen's hand. Though his mind was full of questions, he no longer felt scared. Instead, a deep curiosity began to grow inside him. Who was this Queen? What kind of place was he in? How did he come here? The Queen noticed his change and seemed pleased. Without speaking, she gently moved her hand through the air. Suddenly, soft, glowing images appeared between them like tiny moving pictures. Alex watched closely as the Queen shared the story of her people. These images showed beautiful planets with bright skies, strange creatures, and cities made of shining materials that glowed softly in the dark. As he watched, Alex felt like he was traveling through the stars himself. The Queen's race was peaceful. They did not want to hurt anyone or take anything by force. Instead, they traveled across space to learn, explore, and understand other beings. She wanted to share this knowledge with Alex. Alex wanted to respond, but he could not speak their language. The queen seemed to understand and smiled softly. Then she placed her hand on her chest, and suddenly Alex felt a warm wave of emotion. Calm, trust, and kindness. He realized this was her way of showing she meant no harm. Slowly, the queen reached out her other hand, and Alex felt a gentle pressure on his palm. Suddenly, a rush of pictures and feelings filled his mind. Images of Earth, cities full of people, the oceans, mountains, and forests. He saw faces of strangers, his own memories, and places he loved. The queen was trying to understand Alex's world the same way he was trying to understand hers. They did not need words to communicate. Their thoughts and feelings moved back and forth like a silent conversation. Alex felt surprised, but grateful. It was a new way of sharing that he had never imagined. After a while, Alex tried to think of something simple. He pictured a smiling child, his own little sister. The queen smiled and sent back a feeling of joy and warmth. This made Alex feel more connected to her. The queen then showed Alex her starship. It was huge, much bigger than anything he had seen on Earth. Inside, there were many rooms, glowing halls, and strange machines. The ship traveled through space at incredible speeds, moving between stars and planets. Alex wondered how long he had been there. He asked the queen in his mind, but she only showed him a bright star outside the window. He guessed it was far from Earth. The thought made him miss home. But he also felt a strange excitement about being part of something so vast. The queen explained that they found Alex unconscious after a strange event on Earth. She said her people were curious about humans because they had heard stories about Earth but never met a human before. They wanted to learn about humans' feelings, thoughts, and dreams. Alex thought about how small Earth must seem to the queen compared to the endless space around them. Yet to him, Earth was everything: his family, friends, memories, and life. He asked the queen if he could see more of her world. With a gentle smile, she sent images of her home planet. It was beautiful, covered in green forests and blue oceans, with creatures that looked like birds and animals he had never seen before. The people lived in harmony with nature, respecting all life. Alex felt amazed. He never thought there could be such different worlds out there. The queen's people seemed wise and kind, very different from the scary aliens he had only heard about in Stowe. Alex spent many hours with the alien queen, learning more about her world and sharing stories from his own life. Even though they came from completely different places, they found a way to understand each other. Their connection grew stronger every day. The queen showed Alex many things. Through images and feelings sent directly into his mind, he saw the beauty of her people's culture. Their homes were built with care for nature, using glowing stones and plants that helped clean the air. The people lived peacefully, helping each other and respecting all life forms. Alex told the queen about Earth. He shared memories of his childhood, his family, and his friends. He spoke of simple things: a walk in the park, the taste of fresh fruit, the sound of laughter. The queen seemed fascinated by these everyday moments. Sometimes Alex talked about the harder parts of life, too. He described moments of fear, sadness, and loneliness. He told her about struggles he had faced: losing someone he loved, feeling lost in a big city, or dealing with challenges at work. The queen listened without judgment, her eyes full of understanding. She shared her own stories as well. Through images and feelings, Alex learned that her people had also faced hard times. Long ago, they had wars and conflicts, but they chose to change. They worked together to build peace and harmony, learning from their mistakes. Alex admired their courage and hope. He saw that even in the vast universe, every being had similar feelings and dreams. It made him feel less alone. One day, the queen invited Alex to explore more of the starship. Together, they walked through long corridors lined with glowing panels and strange machines. The Queen explained that these machines help the ship travel between stars and keep everyone safe. Alex saw rooms filled with plants, animals, and even small gardens. It was like a small world inside the ship, alive and growing. The Queen told him that her people cared deeply for nature, even in space. As they walked, Alex noticed other beings on the ship. They were different from the Queen, but also graceful and kind. Some had wings, others had many arms, and some looked like glowing clouds of light. They smiled and greeted Alex warmly. The Queen explained that her starship was a place where many species came together to learn and share. It was like a big family of the stars. Alex felt amazed. He never imagined such diversity could exist. He also felt happy to be included in this peaceful group. Back in his room, the Queen and Alex continued their conversations. Sometimes they used the glowing device that translated thoughts into words. Other times, they shared feelings and images, creating a new kind of language. Alex taught the Queen about human emotions, joy, love, hope, but also fear and anger. She was curious about how humans dealt with these feelings. In return, the Queen showed Alex how her people used music and colors to express emotions. They believed that sharing feelings helped build trust and understanding. One evening, Alex told the Queen about his dreams. He spoke of his hopes for a better world, where people helped each other and cared for the earth. The Queen smiled and sent back a feeling of hope and promise. She told him that her people dreamed of a universe where all beings lived in peace and learned from one another. It was a dream they worked hard to make real. Alex felt inspired. He realized that even though their worlds were different, their hopes were the same. The days passed and Alex grew stronger. His body healed and his mind opened to new ideas. The Queen was always by his side, patient and kind. One day, the Queen showed Alex a special room filled with stars. It was like looking into the sky from Earth, but even more beautiful. The stars moved slowly, shining with different colors. She explained that each star was a world, some full of life, others still waiting to be discovered. Alex felt small, but also part of something grand. The Queen then shared stories about her people's travels. They had visited many planets, learning from the beings who lived there. Some worlds were very different from Earth, with strange creatures and unique ways of living. Alex listened closely, fascinated by the endless variety of life in the universe. He wondered what other secrets the stars held. The Queen also told him about the challenges of space travel. Sometimes they faced dangers like storms of cosmic dust or strange energy waves, but they always worked together to keep safe. Alex admired their teamwork and courage. It reminded him that even in difficult times, hope and friendship could guide the way. During their time together, Alex and the Queen shared many quiet moments. They watched the stars, exchanged stories, and learned from each other. Alex felt grateful for this chance to understand a world beyond his own. The Queen had become more than a stranger. She was a friend and teacher, yet deep inside, Alex missed Earth. He thought about his family and wondered how they were doing. The Queen understood and sent him comforting feelings. She told him that soon he would have a choice, to return home or continue traveling with her. Alex felt mixed emotions. He was excited about the stars, but also longed for the familiar world he loved. The Queen assured him that whatever he chose, she would respect his decision. She wanted him to be happy and free. Alex smiled and thanked her. He knew the days ahead would bring important choices. For now, he focused on learning and sharing. He was ready to explore more of the universe, knowing he was not alone. Together, Alex and the alien Queen continued their journey, a journey of friendship, discovery, and hope. After many days on the starship, Alex began to understand more about where he was and what was happening. The alien queen was always by his side, kind and patient, helping him learn about her world and the stars beyond Earth. But deep inside, Alex knew there was a choice ahead, a choice that would change everything. One quiet evening, the queen sat beside Alex in a softly glowing room filled with plants and gentle lights. She looked at him with calm eyes and gently touched his hand. In his mind, a clear message came through. The starship was nearing a special point in space, close enough to Earth that Alex could be sent back safely. Alex's heart beat faster. The thought of going home made him happy, but also scared. What would happen when he returned? Would anyone believe his story? Would he still feel the same person after all he had experienced? The queen seemed to sense his worry. She sent feelings of comfort and trust, reminding him that he was never alone. She wanted Alex to feel safe and strong no matter what he chose. Then she gave him another choice. He could stay with her, continue traveling among the stars, and learn more about the universe, or he could return to Earth and his old life. Alex thought deeply. Staying meant adventure, mystery, and a chance to see places no human had ever seen. It meant learning from the queen and her people, maybe even helping them in their mission of peace. But returning meant home, his family, friends, familiar places, and the life he had known before. It meant safety and comfort, but also the unknown challenge of explaining what had happened to him. He looked at the queen, searching her eyes for answers. She smiled gently and said without words, "Whatever you choose will be right." For days, Alex thought about his decision. He walked through the ship's gardens, watched the stars outside, and talked quietly with the queen. She shared stories of other travelers who had made similar choices. Some stayed and some went back. Both paths were honored. Alex also thought about what he had learned. The universe was vast and full of life. The queen and her people had shown him kindness and peace. He felt grateful but also knew he could not stay forever. He remembered his family on Earth, their faces, voices, and love. He missed them deeply. One morning, Alex finally made his choice. He would return home. He told the queen in his mind, and she nodded, proud of his decision. She explained the process of returning would take some time. The starship would travel closer to Earth, and when the moment was right, they would send him safely back. Alex felt a mix of emotions, hope, sadness, and excitement. As the starship moved closer to Earth, Alex spent his time preparing to say goodbye. The queen gave him a small, glowing crystal as a gift. She said it was a symbol of their friendship and a reminder that he was never truly alone in the universe. Alex held the crystal tightly, feeling its warmth and light. On the last night aboard the ship, the queen sat with him under the stars. They shared stories and silent moments, knowing this was the end of their time together for now. Alex felt a deep sense of peace. He had learned so much, seen wonders, and made a friend from another world. The next day, the starship reached a point, near Earth. The queen helped Alex prepare for the journey back. She promised to watch over him no matter where he was. A bright light surrounded Alex, and suddenly he felt himself moving through space and time. When he opened his eyes again, he was lying on the ground near his home, surrounded by familiar sounds and smells. At first, no one believed his story. People thought he was dreaming or confused. But Alex knew the truth. He had traveled the stars, met an alien queen, and learned that the universe was full of hope and friendship. Though life returned to normal, Alex felt changed inside. He carried the queen's crystal with him, a secret reminder of his journey. He began to share his story, hoping to open minds and hearts to the possibility that we are not alone. Alex knew his adventure was only the beginning, a new chapter filled with wonder, hope, and endless possibilities. After returning to Earth, Alex found everything familiar but somehow different. The streets, the trees, and even the air felt the same, but inside him something had changed forever. He carried a secret in his heart, a secret that no one seemed to believe. At first, Alex tried to tell his family and friends about the starship and the alien queen. He described the glowing lights, the strange plants, and the peaceful people he had met. But when he spoke, many people just smiled kindly, or shook their heads. Some thought he was joking, others thought he was confused or dreaming. This made Alex feel lonely. He wanted someone to understand, to believe him. But even without their belief, Alex knew what he had experienced was real. The memories were clear. In his mind, the feeling of the Queen's gentle touch, the calm humming of the starship, the vast stars shining outside. Slowly, Alex began to realize that his story was bigger than just what he had seen. It was about hope. It was about the idea that the universe could be a place where different beings met in peace and friendship. He wanted to share this message, even if some people didn't believe the details. He started to write down everything he remembered. He wrote about the Queen's kindness, her people's dreams of peace, and the beautiful worlds beyond Earth. He hoped his words would inspire others to look up at the night sky and imagine a world beyond their own. Alex also began to change in small ways. He became more patient, kinder, and more curious about people and life. His time on the starship had taught him that even in the vast universe, every being shared feelings and dreams. He found joy in simple things, watching the sunrise, listening to children's laughter, and feeling the wind on his face. These small moments felt precious, like gifts from the universe. Sometimes, when Alex felt alone, he held the glowing crystal the Queen had given him. It reminded him of their friendship and gave him strength. He knew that even if they were far apart, they were connected. As time passed, Alex began to meet others who were curious about the stars and the possibility of life beyond Earth. He joined groups, attended talks, and shared his story carefully. Some listened with open minds, others remained doubtful. But Alex never gave up. He believed that one day more people would be ready to accept the truth, that we are not alone, and that friendship can exist between very different beings. Alex's experience also changed how he saw his own life. He started to care more about Earth, its nature, its people, and its future. He felt a deep responsibility to protect the planet that had given him so much. He joined efforts to clean the environment, help others, and spread kindness. He wanted to make the world a better place, just like the alien queen and her people had dreamed for the universe. Though he missed the starship and the queen, Alex knew his place was now on Earth. His journey among the stars had given him new purpose. At night, he often looked up at the sky, imagining the queen watching over him from far away. He felt connected to something bigger than himself. Alex's story became one of hope and courage. It reminded people that the unknown could be beautiful, and that openness to new ideas could change lives. He knew that many questions remained unanswered, but he was ready to face the future with an open heart. In the end, Alex's journey was not just about being taken to a starship. It was about learning to believe in kindness, curiosity, and the power of friendship, no matter where it came from. And so his life continued, filled with wonder and the quiet hope that one day the universe would bring more friends like the alien queen into our lives.